Hello and welcome. I'm Anand Naidu. Thanks for joining us. We begin in Ukraine, where the political landscape is rapidly changing. Earlier on Sunday, the country's parliament voted to hold early elections and stripped President Viktor Yanukovych of all his powers. The decision came as authorities released former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko from prison. Well, let's get the latest now from CCTV's Jack Barton. He joins us live from Kiev. Jack?
Well, that's right. It was only a few hours ago that about 50,000 people packed into the square down there behind me to see Yulia Tymoshenko for the first time in 2.5 years in public. That was when she was imprisoned on charges that many people down there believe were trumped up. Having said that, she remains a divisive figure. Not everybody was happy to see her. And of course, her release comes at a time when the sudden fall of President Viktor Yanukovych threatens to leave the country deeply divided.
Yulia Tymoshenko!
It was not the most defining moment of Ukraine's political transformation, but it was among the most symbolic. President Yanukovych's arch-rival, former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko, set free and centre stage at Kiev's Independence Square.
When I arrived in Kiev, I didn't recognize it. Burnt vehicles, barricades, flowers, but this is a different Ukraine. This is a Ukraine of free people. And you have given this country to each and all of us, those who are living today and those who will live tomorrow. That is why people who were on Maidan, who perished on Maidan, are heroes forever. They are our liberators.
Ukraine's parliament approved her release and voted to remove President Yanukovych from power, as well as setting early elections for the 25th of May. This drew a defiant response from Viktor Yanukovych, who insisted he would neither leave the country nor resign.
Everything that is taking place today is, to a large extent, vandalism and banditry and a state coup.
Ukrainians openly toured Yanukovych's home on Saturday after the demonstrators' so-called self-defense militias took full control of the capital. But the joy of victory was tempered by the lives lost securing it.
Here in the capital, Kiev, there was no mood of triumph or celebration. Instead, people remembered the dozens killed during this week of bloodshed as the funerals continued.
A man alleged to be a police sniper is beaten as he is paraded before the mourners and is lucky to escape with his life, highlighting the tensions that remain in Ukraine and the need for this country to now find a uniting leader who can speak for all citizens and heal the wounds that still deeply divide this nation.
Well, it's just after 2 o'clock in the morning, local time. It's raining outside, and there are still a few thousand people down there at the stage. But we are expecting on Sunday tens of thousands to gather again, and opposition leaders on the stage there, not just reflecting on the incredible chain of events over the past 24 hours, but also most likely to try and spell out how they're going to take this country forward, to once again build social unity, political unity, and of course, economic growth.
Jack, you mentioned there in your report that elections have been moved forward to May. They were initially planned to take place in December, but Parliament moved it forward to May. Now, did Yulia Tymoshenko indicate in her speech whether she's planning to run for president?
Yes, she did. It took her a little while to get there. First of all, she came out, she talked about the incredible sight that she saw before her, the square transformed, the people there. She praised the efforts of the people in bringing this about, their efforts over the past few months. And but then, of course, she got around to denouncing the people who brought about the killing and saying they had to be brought to justice. And then she sort of insinuated that if she hadn't been in jail, perhaps none of this might have happened, that somehow she could have negotiated around it. And then she launched into what was, it was very subtle, but it was no doubt a presidential pitch. So, yes, she will be running for president. That seemed fairly clear. Not everybody was happy with that. She does have a lot of admirers down there, but when they talk about her, there's usually a but somewhere in the sentence. And they do see her tainted by a gas deal she did with Russia that they didn't see was in the best interest of the country. She is seen as something of the old politics that the country is trying to get rid of at the moment. And there was actually a little bit of heckling down there at the end. A few people were ejected. One or two people reportedly even walked away. So even while she is a big figure here, she is not perhaps tainted with the outrage that some of the opposition leaders here caused when they signed that deal with President Yanukovych. Nonetheless, she is, in the eyes of many people here, seen as linked to the old politics. So it does appear that she is going to run for president. How successful she will be, that's not so sure.
Thanks, Jack. Jack Barton there reporting from Kiev.